Okay. Hello there, welcome to the Green at Morton weekly update, as sponsored by McTears the Auctioneers. Now, my special guest this week is the guy you possibly don't want to be talking about when you've left the match after 90 minutes. Because if he's the guy you are talking about, the chances are the Ton were way up against it and we had to call upon his special talents repeatedly. He'd keep in goal for the Morton this season. He follows in the tradition of great Capello custodians like Eric Sorensen, Roy Baines, Murray McDermott, David Wiley, just to name a few guys. If you haven't guessed by now, my special guest this week is Danny Rogers. Danny, hello, how are you?
Not too bad, how are you?
I'm very well indeed. You look as if you're keeping quite trim.
You know what? I'm actually trying to put on a lot of weight, which is, obviously, that's not a good sign if you're telling me I'm looking trim. Because funny story for you, I went vegetarian when I was at Aberdeen and I was injured. Because I was hearing all of these health benefits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it for when I'm injured and stuff like that. And it was fine. I loved it. And I remember I was in at Morton and people were saying, you look real skinny. And I was like, oh, whatever. Didn't take much notice of it. I stepped on the scales at Morton and I was like, what? I was like a good stone lighter than what I normally am. I was like, nah, the scales are broke. Like, the scales are broke. Must be broke. Because I'd never been down to that weight. And I could notice my top and everything was baggy on me. And I was like, this is weird. So anyway, I ended up buying a scales one day. And I stepped on it. And the scales at Morton was right.
Right.
I was down about 8 kilos I was down. And I was just a big fright. I'm doing a load of research, rang up a nutritionist over the summer. And I was just like, right, this weight needs to start coming back onto me. So that's what most people try and stay trim over the summer. I've been eating 4,000 calories a day.
Danny, you're living in the west of Scotland, man. You must be the only person that can put weight on.
No, I've never struggled to put weight on, and all of a sudden it's a big problem for me. But I'm back eating meat now and I'm feeling good. So hopefully it will come back soon.
Let's have a quick chat about your exotic background. Born in New York City, brought up in Dublin and Ireland. There's not many guys around can say that these days.
Yeah, I don't know why I went from New York to Dublin. It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? You think I would have stayed there. But no, my dad was the same as me. He was born in New York to Irish parents. They moved back to Ireland. And he later in life went back over. Mm-hmm. And that's where he met my ma. And they lived over there for 10 or 15 years. Mm-hmm. Had me and my brother. Me and my two brothers over there. And when I was about 5 years old, we moved back. And then I wasn't in Ireland for that long before I've adopted the Scottish heritage now. Been here
as well as that. So, I mean, you'll probably not remember much about New York. Your memories will be Dublin, Ireland, growing up there.
Yeah, well, I remember literally nothing of it. Like, I've seen pictures and stuff on it, but I remember nothing. And then we went back on a holiday when I was about 14 or something like that. And they brought us back to where we used to live and that. And it's funny because everything just starts coming back to you. And you're like, oh, I remember this, I remember that and stuff. But vaguely. But no, I was only a baby over there. Like, I didn't go to school or anything and stuff like that. So I would classify myself as Irish more than I would American.
Certainly, you've not got an American accent, that's for sure.
Oh, thank God.
Listen, it's a particular pleasure for me because my passion in football is goalkeepers. They were always my heroes. I was a goalkeeper back in the day, and I know there's going to be people around Greenock watching this that will tell you I wasn't a goalkeeper back in the day, but they were always my heroes.
Me as well.
I don't think so. You were telling me there, your heroes aren't really goalkeepers.
No, not really. Like, I don't really have any heroes. Like, I grew up like the Man United team when I was growing up. I'm a big Liverpool fan as well, but the Man United team when I was growing up with Giggs, Beckham, these kind of guys, like that was kind of what I looked up to. And I was I was almost forced into being a goalkeeper. I didn't want to be a goalkeeper, but anytime I was playing with my mates, I would never go in goal. I'd go out and buy Beckham's boots or Ryan Giggs's boots. You know what I mean? It was just so for me, having heroes, like there's goalkeepers that I admire, like Carlo Cudicini.
Yeah.
Always loved Carlo Cudicini at Chelsea. I thought he was excellent. And then I get into the Ireland under 21s and I turn up and he's my goalie coach. So that
What a
was,
moment.
yeah, that was quite surreal. Like that was cool. But yeah, no, I don't really have any goalkeepers. Obviously, there's unbelievable. Like Buffon's probably my favorite goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But it's not as if that I'm more looked up to players than goalkeepers when I was a kid.
So how did you become a goalkeeper then?
So I played at a local team that weren't in a great league at left wing, and I was doing really well, scoring a few goals or whatever. And I remember I played in goal when they were stuck and stuff like that. You know, when you're a kid, everyone swaps positions, and I kind of just left for it. But anyway, I got scouted by a top team in Dublin as a left winger. So I went down to them. I played maybe 5 or 6 games for them, and their goalkeeper went on holiday. We went on holiday for like a month. So we were playing a game, and they were like, does anyone want to go in goal? And I stayed in the background, didn't want to know about it. Just kept my mouth shut. And we went down 3-0 at half-time. And at half-time, he says, does anyone else want to go in goal now? And I just decided, right, I'll jump in goal. So I went in goal, and the match stayed 3-0. And I played really well. So I continued in goal while he was on holiday. And when he came back from holiday, I thought I would go back to left wing and he would go into goal. I stayed in goal and he went left wing. And that was just it. I was just a goalkeeper from then on.
That's how it started, because like a lot of, the big Irish goalkeepers like Packy Bonner, Shea Given, even Conrad Logan, the Hibs hero from 2016. They all played Gaelic football. You played that as well, didn't you, GAA?
Yeah. I think everyone in Ireland, when they're growing up, plays Gaelic football. And it's just, it would definitely help me. Like, it's just so much hands and catching and eye coordination and stuff. So that was a big help for me. I always remember I was a kid and my older cousin was a very good Gaelic football player. And we used to go over to the field and just kick the ball up and see, again, he was 4 or 5 years older than me, and see who could catch it. The two was challenging for the ball. And I used to beat him every single time. He just had a good leap on me. And so everything was starting to come together in that sense as the makeup of being a goalkeeper then. So, it's funny how everything just comes together. I never wanted to be a goalkeeper, but as soon as I got in,
well, I tell you, for somebody that doesn't want to do the job, you've done really well at it.
Yeah, well, it's made me a living, so something went right for me.
Tell me this though. I mean, the fact that you did play outfield a lot, does that help? I know you were born the year the pass back rule came into being, which makes me feel ancient. But I mean, goalkeepers now have to be almost like midfielders and defenders to play football. It's not like the days of old.
Yeah. Well, if you asked me to do any tricks now, I couldn't do a single trick for you. But I feel like I've got a good kick on me and a good touch and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely, it's just the way the game is going, and I think it's going to go further in that direction as it goes on. You see the likes of Ederson and Allison and stuff like that. Like, they'd be nowhere near like that level unless they were that good with their feet. Like, some of the things you'd think they could play midfield in the Prem. It's ridiculous. But I think if you're not good with your feet, you're gonna struggle. I think in generation anyway.
Because I think Neuer's like that, the German keeper. I think he wants to play in midfield. I don't think he wants to play in goal.
Yeah, 100%. Some of the things he does are just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, no need for him to be doing step overs and stuff. He just loves it, doesn't he? He's dying to play in midfield.
It's great to watch. Listen, let's talk about your Scottish career then, because you've been over here a number of years now. You've been on Aberdeen's books and you've come through quite a few clubs. I remember you particularly at Dumbarton and Falkirk, where you had some great performances. I think that was round about the time you won some Player of the Month and you get called up to the Irish under-21 squad and then into the full squad as well. Yeah.
I had a burst onto the scene, in fairness. I don't know what age I was. I was maybe 17 or something, or 17 or 18. I went on loan to Airdrie for 6 weeks. I think they had an injury. and we played. I didn't play particularly well now in these 6 weeks. I was so scared, like I was only a kid. But one of the games was live on BT Sport against Rangers in front of 10,000 people, and but it was funny because that was my best game in those 6 weeks. We only lost 1-0. I made a number of saves, loads of crosses, come and took them. And then it kind of just... So from then, I went to Dumbarton. And there was Hearts, Rangers, there was big teams in the league. And the bigger the game, the better I played. And it was always that case. It was always like, if we went to Alloa away or one of these like small stadiums, that was where I wouldn't excel. It was always, if you put me at Ibrox or Tynecastle, like I will play really well. And that was the case for years. It probably still is the case. I just seemed to thrive under a bit of pressure kind of thing. But no, Dumbarton went really well for me. Ian Murray was the manager. He took a chance on me. Like, they were in the championship. I was a nobody. Like, so for me to get that move was great, and I done really well. I ended up getting Player of the Year and 4 or 5 Player of the Month and stuff like that. But it was funny. We used to lose 4-0 every week, but I would get man of the match. So,
maybe it should have been 8 or 9.
Yeah, it was like, well, we lost 4-0, but I done all right. So then Peter Houston obviously seen me at Dumbarton and took me into Falkirk, which was where I had my best season. Like, flying at Falkirk, done really well. I stayed there for 2 years actually. Got Player of the Month for the league. We were in the playoff final. I got a call up to the Ireland senior squad. Everything was going really well, and then I went back to Aberdeen. I was not thinking about leaving Aberdeen, but it was like, Joe Lewis is there now. I'm not going to play. Could I get out? But I was still like 21. So the compensation rule was coming into play. So I said, right, I'll go and sit on the bench behind Joe for a year and just try and learn off him and get experience and stuff like that. So I done that for a year. It was fine. I got my debut, played a few games. It was good. And then finally got my loan deal to the Premiership, to St Mirren, which didn't go very well. So I went into St Mirren, and it was just, there were so many turnarounds of players and staff and everything. It was a bit of a hectic time for the club. It's a good club, but it was hectic at the time. And I done my knee at the very start of the season, and I knew it was bad. And I went to the surgeon, and the surgeon said, look, I don't think you need surgery. Just go and rehab it for 12 weeks. It'll be okay. So I rehabbed it for 12 weeks, and it was still quite sore. And he was like, oh no, it's just aches and pains. You'll be okay. This, that, and the other. But like, the goalie coach at St Mirren was kind of looking at me like saying, you can't even jump on your left foot. Like there's something wrong here. But I ended up getting thrown into the team when I came back and playing like 6 or 7 games. Like, I mean, playing games, I was desperate for the ball not to be near me at this stage. Like, I couldn't move. Like, my knee was killing me.
Yeah.
I played like 6 games. My last game was a pretty bad one. I remember there was a couple of balls down to my left, and I just couldn't push off my left foot. I couldn't move. They were close. So then went into training on the Monday, whatever, doing standard stuff. Bang, knee goes again. And I was like, no. So my knee just completely buckled. Went back to the surgeon, and he says to me, oh yeah, we should have operated the first time. And my head was gone. I was fuming. So that was me the whole season. And then I came back. Like, it takes you a while to come back from an injury. I didn't realise it takes you a long time to come back from an injury to get back to your confidence and stuff like that. So I went to Morton. Didn't start particularly well at Morton. Didn't feel myself like in the goal. I was nervous. My confidence was low. I was still worried about my knee, even though I got the surgery and it was fixed. And you could see that, like, you could see like lads who I've played with before who knew me from Falkirk and stuff were saying to me like, you don't really look the same and stuff. Like, what's wrong? Couldn't really pinpoint what was wrong. It was just more of a psychological thing.
Because that's the goalkeepers, isn't it? I mean, that is the thing about goalkeepers more than any other position on the park. It's all about confidence and psychology.
Oh yeah. I'm actually studying to do a sports psychology degree because I just think it's so important. Like, that's what I want to do after football. Is I want to be a sports psychologist because it's so important. I had a sports psychologist when I was at Falkirk, and that's when I was playing my best football. Yeah. Like, I think footballers should really look into doing something like that.
It's funny though, because looking back, you come into your own, like a lot of the Morton squad, I have to say, as we pushed into the second half of the season, we went on that tremendous run. And that's when people were really starting to talk about Danny Rogers as a Morton goalkeeper.
Yeah, but that was it. It was the start of the season. I think, like, once you don't start well, it's so hard not to. My first game, I didn't even know I was going on loan. I just kind of arrived at Easter Road, Hibs away.
What a game.
I was like, you lose, you ship 5 goals, and it's like, well, this hasn't started well. Then you're at Dundee United a week or two later, we ship 6 goals. And I'm like, oh, the confidence couldn't have been any lower. And you're just kind of thinking like, oh no, like, when am I going to start feeling like the old Danny Rogers?
Right.
It took me a long time. It took me a lot longer than I expected. And then, as you say, you come into the second half of the season, and like a lot of the boys, the team's doing better. You're going to do better. You will feed off that kind of confidence, you know what I mean? And kind of them doing me the confidence to. It wasn't like we're losing 4-0, and it doesn't matter if there's a 5th goal. You know what I mean? It's more like, right, the boys have done really well. I better start making some saves here so we win this game. I'm not letting them down, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I felt really, really good in the second half of the season. Like, I felt like I was back to somewhat my best. And you're having conversations with the lads in the team. They're saying it to you as well. They're like, oh, this is, I remember, not Danny in October. So, and then coronavirus comes and ruins all.
Fair enough. But that is, I mean, it is frustrating, isn't it? Because the team were going really well. You were playing really well. The camaraderie around the team, because I'd been around Capello quite a lot at that point and seen the way you guys were all mixing together, and there was a clear ambience that you were bringing out onto the pitch.
Oh yeah, like I think the gaffer assembled like a very good squad of mates, if you know what I mean. Everyone was similar age. Everyone was kind of on the same page. Everybody got along. Like, it was some laugh, in fairness. Like, even when we were losing and that, like, it was some laugh just to be in the change room. I got on with everyone in there. They're all top lads.
Yeah. To me, vital at a club is the relationship between your goalkeepers. Now, I've heard that Big Sammy's a bit mental, to be quite honest. He's a bit of a character. And clearly looking at you, he must be.
A bit. Oh, Sam's like something I've never met before. He is mental, absolutely mental. He's some laugh. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. Honestly, I would love to tell you some stories about him, but they're.
I suppose he's got a lawyer.
Yeah, he needs one. No, Sam's a great lad. Me and Sam got on so well. Like, he kind of just. Actually, I remember speaking to him not that long ago, and I remember him thinking, he told me, he said, I hated you when you came in here.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, well, you were coming in here to take my place and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but that's just football kind of thing. And he was like, I know. He said, but I just couldn't help it. I hated you. And it was funny because we ended up being like the best of friends ever since. You just kind of know the situation.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of just like, only one can play. And it's not like we make the decision. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point of him hating me or me hating him or this, that, or the other when we have no control over it. It's all of us need to push each other, kind of thing. But no, we had a great laugh with Timo as well. Like, our goalie sessions were so funny. It was so good to train there. Like, you go in every day and you knew it was a good laugh. It's always important because I've been in goalkeeper unions where it's been broken, like where there's just goalies don't know each other. It happens. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen often, but I'll have experience there, and it's not nice. You don't want to be in training because it's just like, oh, this isn't.
Do you have a particular highlight, a personal highlight from your season?
Ayr United away always sticks out in my head.
Yeah, great game.
I think Ayr United away. I think that's when we kind of cemented our safety. Then was it?
Yes.
Maybe. No, it was, well, you know what I mean. I think we kind of knew then we won't be going down. Like we need to be looking up instead of down, kind of thing. But yeah, I think there wasn't that many spectacular saves, but there was important saves and important crosses to come and take. And I had a lot of important moments that might have went under the radar, but I always felt like that was probably my most complete performance. I don't think I put a foot wrong in the whole game.
Right.
And that's where I kind of felt like, right, that's what I need to be at every single week. And I think if you asked a lot of the lads, that was probably their favourite win.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the boys have said that in Queen of the South away.
The changing room afterwards was electric. Like, everyone was absolutely buzzing.
So, what are the professional ambitions for Danny Rogers?
Professional ambitions? Well, but my main one would be to be an Irish international. Like, that's always been the pinnacle. And I've seen, like, you don't need to play at stupid levels to get to that. I played at Falkirk and I was on the bench for the national team.
Yeah.
So that would be my main goal. Club-wise, changes every year. I started off when I was a kid. I wanted to play for Liverpool or Real Madrid. Yeah. Then as you get older, you think, well, how realistic is that? Probably my goal now would be to play in the Championship in England, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. That's
sooner or later. You never know.
You've got to be ambitious in this life, Danny. Listen, it's been fantastic talking to you. What's really fantastic about it is your honesty and your candour. I think we get that from all goalkeepers. Before you come on air, we were admiring a picture that was up on your wall. So I'd like you to show me that now, because that was really, really good.
There's no Morton photos on it. It was last year. Oh, where is it? It's here. This was pre-Morton.
This is a collage, yes?
Yep.
That's you, your Aberdeen debut, your Ladbrokes Player of the Month for Falkirk as well, yeah? Yeah. Is that you with the Irish squad as well?
That's an Irish under 21 squad.
Yeah. Who's that wee boy playing GAA up at the top?
That's Irish full squad. That's 21s. Aberdeen debut. Dumbarton at Tynecastle. Random picture. And this is me plying my trade in GAA.
You look about 14.
I was about 11.
But Danny, listen, it's been an absolute privilege.
That was at Croke Park. That was a big game. We lost the final, actually, by 1 point. I was devastated. Wow. So I went to football then.
Playing at Croke Park is the biggest ambition for anyone that plays GAA.
Oh, yeah, someplace.
Danny, it's been an absolute privilege talking to you, and really enjoyed working with you during the season as well, and I wish you all the best. Hopefully we'll see you between the sticks again very, very soon. Thank you very much. Cheers. And thank you for joining me on the Green at Morton Weekly Update, as sponsored by McTears, the auctioneers.